This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph, darling. We're gonna go through today what I'm going to teach my 9-year-old son about success and his timeline that I've basically set up for him so that he can achieve his financial success at an earlier time than I ever could and be able to have a family of his own with a massively strong financial foundation, setting it up the right way from the beginning. Now, it's up to him if he's gonna listen to me or not. However, the better example I am to him, and the more I'm his friend and open and willing and listening to him, he's going to follow my advice. There's no reason why he shouldn't follow my advice as long as he sees that I've got the results that he desires in his life. And the number one thing I'm going to teach him, I think you can guess it, but it's seed retention. It's coming up fast. He's going to turn 10 years old this year. And from what I remember, I began to explore those areas of life when I was 11 years old. I had not been taught by my parents about what was going to happen. And the only thing I knew was that, sex is bad. That's pretty much what I was told. The main reason for me teaching him this first is because it's the foundation to everything. If you never learn to practice seed retention and to have discipline in your life from the get-go, from the beginning, and not start that process of hyper-producing seed when it's not necessary during that time frame, so that you can focus on the things that actually matter in the long run. The seed is there for a reason. It's fantastic. We love it. It's a physical, massive testosterone drive for you to produce children and for you to have a family. It's great. We love it. Sex is amazing. However, it needs to be treated with utmost care, and you need to know what you're doing before you get yourself into those relationships so as to not screw up the rest of your life. So I'm going to teach him to not indulge himself to watch filthy content and to not surrender to those powers so that he can retain his power and use it for good and using it for setting up his financial foundation. I'm going to tell him to avoid girls, to avoid relationships, to avoid all of that stuff. Because, think about your own teenage years, man. There was a lot of pressure on you from friends, from guys around you that were basically talking about girls non-stop. Looking at girls, talking about girls, and then you go to parties with girls, and then you hold hands with girls, and you go in the back alley and kiss those girls, and then there's so much stuff. And yes, of course, there's a time to explore and all that stuff, but not really. Really, was it necessary? Was it necessary? If I had been explained all of this stuff from my parents and explained this from my church for that matter, that, bro, you're gonna get that. Be patient, it's coming. But now, take care of the stuff that's gonna set up the rest of your life. No one taught me this stuff, but I'm gonna be able to teach my sons and my daughter for that matter about what actually works and how to set up your happiness and your joy for the long run so that you can make the biggest impact on the world as possible. In other words, I'm gonna tell him, don't date at all before you're a millionaire. Is he gonna listen to me? We'll have to see. The second aspect of what I'm gonna share with my son is I'm going to help him to avoid as much academic education as possible. You heard that right. To avoid as much academic education as possible. It's not going to get you anywhere in life, and it has absolutely no purpose to your long-term happiness and joy, nor the money that you could be making. I'm not going to teach him to get a low-wage job. He could get a low-wage job from me. I'm going to teach him how to make millions of dollars because it's not that hard if you've got the know-how, if you've got the skills, and if you know how business works. It really is simple. But going to school and listening from people that don't know squat about business and listening to people who are themselves financially destroyed, from college debt or whatever it is that has been going on in their years, why would those people teach my kids about success? I mean, isn't that what we're going to school for, is to teach how to become successful? Why else are we going to school? So all my kids are homeschooled, and I'm making sure that they are becoming more educated than those that are out there getting themselves an academic education. And when Robert Kiyosaki says that PhD stands for poor, helpless, and desperate, I'm going to listen to him more than I'm going to listen to my school teachers. I don't know about you. So what does it mean to be highly educated? Because it's really just two things that you need to learn in order for you to become massively successful throughout the rest of your life. You need to have people skills, and you need to know how money works. That's it. Very much simplified. Money, I'm talking about business as well. And when it comes to people skills, it's basically leadership. If you understand money and you know how to lead people and you know how to run a business, you can employ people to do work that needs to get done, and you can train them on it because you've learned how to do it. You've mastered the skill, and then you get other people to do the skill and you teach them, and then they go out and do the work for you, and you get a small percentage of everything that gets done. Understanding business, understanding how to become a leader, and understanding how the money works. And if you know that, you'll never need a job ever for the rest of your life. You can rather create jobs. Now that's what I want to hear our school systems talk about, but we'll never see that happening, will we? The next thing that I teach my son already as a 9-year-old is to build his audience. Because building your audience is one of the most important things that you can do for the rest of your life. Having an audience and making it as many people as possible will help him to have influence with the people around him. It's insane to think about that YouTube was started 15 years ago. And the guys who truly understood that system and massively have made videos over the long term and got millions of subscribers, man, it's insane how they've set themselves up for the rest of their lives. Even if they made no money the next month from YouTube, if they have 10 million subscribers, they can create any product, sell to all of those guys, and make tons of money, even without the ad revenues. It's insane. And that's what I'm teaching my son, is that just upload a video every single day, every single day, every single day. Consistency is key. Just do it, just do it, just do it. I do pay him a little something because, I want him to do it, right? It's just a few cents every single day for me. It doesn't matter, but for him it matters. It's gonna matter massively to him in the long run if he keeps the consistency up. He can use YouTube, he can use Instagram, he can use Steam, the new cryptocurrency social media. It doesn't matter. What matters is that he's consistent in building his audience. Part of this process of becoming a leader and developing people skills and growing his influence is helping him to read the best books of the world. Now, I've mentioned some of these before, I'll mention it again now. Think and Grow Rich, amazing. The Slight Edge, absolutely fantastic. The Compound Effect, yes. Good to Great by Jim Collins, absolutely. And so on and so on and so on. There are so many absolutely amazing books. One of those books are more important than all of the books that you've read in your school days. All of them, okay? If you just read one of those books and read it 10 to 15 times, and that's what I'm going to help my son to do, it ridiculously changes your whole perspective on life and sets you up for financial success forever. Listening to audio from those that have gone the way before us, that have tried and failed, and instead of reinventing the wheel of success and business and money, we can learn from the masters who are literally billionaires today. Why not? It's right there. They've got the information we need, and that's what I want to share with my son. And if I have to pay him to read those books, then so be it, because then he'll have read them. And then it's up to him if he wants to read those books again and again and again and again and again and again. so that he gets the repetition into his brain. I recommend that for you guys as well, that when you read one of the best books of the world, that you read it again and again and again and again. Same thing with my videos. Listen to them again and again and again and again. It's not enough to listen to a video once and I've just already watched those videos. No, man, I promise you're gonna get more out of each video the more times you listen to it. And it's gonna sit. Myself, man, 2 days ago I listened to Why You're Depressed, my own video, and I listened to it twice immediately after each other, and I'm like, bro, this is an amazing video. And I listened to that video again and again because Kobe's death actually had a huge impact on me. And from that video that I made, I understood that I could make that into a positive thing for me. I can make it into a drive, a motivation to actually massively succeed and apply the principles that Kobe was an example of competitiveness, of massively giving your all continuously to your cause. That was absolutely amazing, and I'm fired up outside my brain to actually dive in and keep doing what I'm doing because it's an important work. A huge other aspect, other than me being a mentor for my son, is I want him to learn from other mentors as well. Very often, because I'm his father, he's probably not gonna want to hear me yapping all the time. It's better to have other guys that edify me as the father, but to have those guys to also repeat the same things to him that I tell him to do. Because then he'll be like, oh, it's not just my dad, it's actually everyone else says that this is a good idea, maybe I should listen. And eventually he'll get the point and he's going to apply it and it's going to have a big difference in his life. Now, with all of the success that I've talked about, when is my son ever going to have fun? Well, I'll tell you. First of all, he's had a lot of fun throughout his youth. Think about it. He can wake up anytime he wants because he hasn't been going to school, and he gets to do what he wants to do every day, all day, and then I help him out when he wants my help, and we have fun as a family. He's had tons of fun, but at the same time, it's important that he now begins to develop some friends over time now. He's getting that old that it's important that he gets people his own age. So what we're going to do over the next few years is to help him to develop a lot of friendships with a lot of different people, both that are younger than him, older than him, same age as him, by enrolling him in cool activities throughout the week, but also doing cool stuff that other people don't get to do. Since he's homeschooled, he's got so much time on his hands. And the more money that we develop as a family, the more I can help them to have awesome experiences throughout their lives. I'm gonna want him to start any forms of sports that he desires. I want him to learn coding so that he can help me in my business, so that he can also help himself in his future business. I want him to learn martial arts. I want him to get an exercise regimen going on for him once he's old enough and he's got enough nutrition. And I want him to become really good at taking care of himself. Like washing his own clothes, cooking for himself, doing stuff that's going to help him to be a man, to be a proper man, fix cars, fix bikes, fix everything that he needs to get fixed so that he doesn't have to pay other people if it's not necessary to do so. What's the point of this video? Why am I telling you what I'm going to teach my 9-year-old son over his next few years? I want to help you understand your priorities better. And to understand that, man, it's not about the girls, man. There's so much stuff that needs to get done that I haven't had time to do because I've been procrastinating together with the filthy content I've been watching and not practicing seed retention, and continuously spend time thinking about girls, thinking about how to get girls, and thinking about reading online about how to get girls, blah, 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 blah. It has been an absolute waste of time for you. And think about all the schooling that you've done for nothing. It's time for you now to start using this video as an example to set up your life once and for all. And as an adult, you should be able to apply these things a lot more easily than my 9-year-old ever could, even if he has me as a father. Remember that these principles that you apply now, you're going to be an example for your future kids. Learn the principles that I've shared here of what you can do to set up your life once and for all without women in your life, and then build it up. Build up your financial foundation. Build up the exponential growth of your business, because it's going to set yourself up for freedom forever. You won't need a government pension. Who would want a government pension when they can create millions in just a few years' time? For some of you, it might take 10 years. But for most of you, you're going to do it in way less than that if you begin to apply the principles of personal growth as taught on this channel. I'm teaching you these things because I was never taught these things as a child. If I knew these things, I would have never gone to school. I would have begged my parents to homeschool me, and I wouldn't have wasted so much time. I'm happy that I am where I am now. I don't regret anything because that was my life journey. But why do you have to reinvent the wheel and go through the same process of 10 to 20 years of waste when you can just take this information, apply it to your life, and have set up your financial foundation once and for all, and then begin the search to finding your women and establishing a family of your own? It is absolutely neglectful to bring women and children into your life at a time when you have not set up your financial foundation. It is more important than anything. We don't know what the future has in store for us. However, we know that if you develop people skills, money skills, and survival skills, you're going to do fantastic in the future. And you will have set yourself up for success for the rest of your life, but also you will have set up the foundation for your kids to understand success from an early age. This is the Men of High Value channel. My name is Joseph Darling. I'm fired up for you guys. I'll see you in the next video.